Hello, today I'll be discussing with you trigonometric functions. And trigonometric functions was derived from right triangle with an angle of measure theta. Yung sides na katabi niya, we call it the longer side and the smaller side. Yung mas malaking side, we can call it hypotenuse h. And the shorter one na katabi ng theta, this is the adjacent. So yung katapat niya, we call it the opposite side. Out of this right triangle, we have 6 trigonometric functions. Ang tawag nga dito sa sine, cosine, tangent is the SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA stands with the sine is equals to the ratio of opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine theta is equals to the ratio of adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent theta is equals to opposite over the adjacent. Now, in the other 3 trigonometric functions, if you are going to look at these ratios, they are the reciprocal of each other. So, yung reciprocal ng sine is cosecant theta. As you can see the ratio, h over o. Sine is o over h. Yung cosine theta naman, yung reciprocal niya is secant theta, h over a. Yung tangent theta, yung reciprocal niya is cotangent theta is equals to adjacent over the opposite side. Now, kung titingnan natin itong rectangular coordinate system o itong unit circle, meron tayong angle theta dito. It also represents the opposite sides, which we call it here as distance y. The adjacent here is x, and our hypotenuse is equals to r. Now, since we know that sine theta is the reciprocal of cosecant theta, now we can say that the reciprocal identity is sine theta is equals to 1 over cosecant theta. To prove, let's say we have our cosecant theta that is equals to h over o. H over o, hypotenuse over the opposite. And then, di ba, pagka nagdi-divide tayo, you're going to find the reciprocal of the denominator, and then multiply na tayo, and then 1 multiplied by o over h, and it is equals to 1 multiplied by o over h, that is equals to o over h. So o over h is equals to sine theta. And so the reciprocal of cosine theta, or meaning the reciprocal identity of cosine theta, that is equal to cosine theta is equals to 1 over secant theta, and tangent theta is equals to 1 over cotangent theta. Here, the rectangular coordinate system, malalaman natin na kahit na more than 360 degrees, pwede natin sabihin o hanapin yung mga 6 trigonometric functions natin dito. Kasi, di ba alam natin that the triangle has total angle of 180 degrees. Say, we have 30 degrees. And one of these triangle is 90 degrees. If this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 30 degrees, we have 60 degrees. So the total angle inside the triangle is equals to 180 degrees. Now, bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng sine 210 degrees? While alam natin na nasa loob ng triangle is only up to 90 degrees, yung pinakamalaking angle. Now, that question results to this unit circle. Imagine if we have a unit circle and then nag-rotate itong sides natin na to. We call this side as the terminal side. And this one, we call this as the initial side. Now, pagka nagkaroon ng movement yung terminal side, and then, let's say, R is equals to 1. So, ano yung ratio niya? The ratio of, if we're going to consider cosine theta, that's equals to cosine theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. So, we have x over r. If r is equals to 1, we have x over 1. So, x is equals to cosine theta. Then let's consider sine theta. Sine theta here at unit circle is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, y over r. If r is equals to 1, y over 1. So y is equals to sine theta. Ang pagka binago natin itong 6 trigonometric functions, kunin natin yung opposite and adjacent and hypotenuse, ilagay natin dito sa trig functions. Yung angle of measure natin, always remember that it is always with respect to the x-axis. So lahat ng measurement manggagaling sa x-axis. So yung ibig sabihin yan, it is always y, which is our opposite, and the x will be always our adjacent. Now, let's consider this sine. Sine theta is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, or y over r at the rectangular coordinate system. Ito naman cosecant theta, that is x over r. Tangent theta, y over x. Now, since this is the reciprocal of sine theta, yung cosecant theta, pwede na sabihin natin na this cosecant theta is r over y, secant theta is r over x, and cotangent theta is x over y. Now, para hanapin natin yung Pythagorean identity, another identity, say x square plus y square is equals to r square. So, ito yung dimensions o yung mga sides na ginamit natin. Diba? This one is x square plus y square is equals to r square using Pythagorean theorem. And then we have this. If we are going to divide all of this term by r square, divided by r square, we have x over r square plus y over r square is equals to 1. Now, if we are going to look at x over r, we have the x over r, that's cosine theta. Now, since x over r is equals to cosine theta, we have cosine theta, and then square. So the next term is y over r. We have y over r. Y over I is sine theta. We have sine theta. And then square is equals to 1. So the first Pythagorean identity. Now what else? If I'm going to divide this by x square, okay, we have x square plus y square is equals to r square. So I will divide this by r square, x square. What happens is that x square over x square, we have 1 plus y square over x square. We can say that it is y over x square is equals to r square over x square, r over x square. Now, we have 1 plus y over x. We have y over x. Y over x is tangent theta. Tangent theta. And this one is square. Is equals to r over x. We have r over x is secant theta. This one is square. So this is the second Pythagorean identity. And the last, ito na lang. If I'm going to divide this by y square, what will happen? X square plus y square is equals to r square. Divide it by y square, y square, y square. So now we have x over y square plus y square over y square. We have 1. That is equals to r over y square. Now x over y, we have x over y is cotangent theta. Since that is square plus 1 is equals to r over y. We have r over y, that is cosecant theta square. So this is the third Pythagorean. Here we have tangent theta. Is equals to opposite over adjacent. If I'm going to multiply this by, or rationalize this by 1 over h, over 1 over h, I'm going to multiply O by 1 over h, we have O over h, all over, we have A multiplied by 1 over h, A over h, and O over h is equals to sine theta. A over h, adjacent over hypotenuse, we have cosine theta. So the ratio of tangent theta is equal to sine theta over cosine theta. Now it means that the ratio of cotangent theta will be equals to cosine theta over sine theta. Now going back to this unit circle, say I have an angle 210 degrees. What will happen if I have 210 degrees? Since we are going to move the angle of measure counterclockwise, say this angle measure is equals to 210 degrees. So if I'm going to look for sine 210 degrees, what will be its value? Since we know that the inside sum of a right triangle is only equals to 180 degrees. Now we have sine 210 degrees. We are always considering the x-axis, as I said earlier. So meaning the measure of this angle, what is 210 degrees, is also equivalent to, if we're going to subtract 210 by 180, this is 180, we have 30 degrees. Again, as I said earlier, yung angle theta natin is always measured with respect to x-axis. So we have 30 degrees. And this will be our x, and this is our y. Since x is right at the left of the origin, we have the negative value of x, as well as y, we have negative y, kasi nga nasa ibaba siya ng origin. Now, to find sine 210, sine 210 is equals to y over r. And y is negative. So it means that if r is equals to 1, meaning we have sine 210 degrees is equals to negative y. How about cosine 210 degrees? Cosine 210 degrees, we're considering that cosine, we have negative x over r. If r again is equals to 1, we have negative x over 1. So we have cosine 210 degrees is equals to negative x. Now, if we are going to consider a clockwise rotation of this angle of measure, meaning we have a negative 150 degrees. If we have a negative 150 degrees, say sine negative 150 degrees, dahil pareho lang naman yung angle with respect to x-axis na ma-generate natin out of negative 150 degrees if we're going to rotate it clockwise. Ang ibig sabihin yan, we also have sine 210 degrees is the same as sine negative 150 degrees. It means that this is equals to negative 1. And cosine negative 150 degrees, pareho lang naman yung angle na subtended angle niya or yung angle measure niya with respect to x-axis. And then pareho lang magiging value niya ng cosine 210 degrees, that is equals to negative x.